Is Boris important for you?
Boris is very important. No, Boris, there we go. Boris is the fifth artist. And
so it's Boris, yeah.
Yeah. And people always do think of me with Boris as well. And I'm not sure, but why is it Boris that's so important? It's because he's so, it's just fucking sensual. It's just fucking beautiful. It's the same as Warhol. I think if you were to name like my two dialectics of two artists itself, it would be like Boris and like Warhol on two sides. They are like the opposites. And if you can name one thing, it's like when Warhol did the diamond dust paintings of Boris, which could be at the Hamburger Bahnhof. Yeah.
So that's almost where it then meets.
It's sorry.
So that's when when Boris and Warhol comes together or something. You know? It's like
kind of, yeah. Which he had the famous meeting, and I've done all these vitrines and stuff, which is quite, and people always think it's quite voice-like because it's just glass vitrines with things in it. Isn't he great?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And you know what? Recently I thought when I look at my cat, he's called Hans Meyer, because I've been reading about Buddhism and stuff, and he's always like such a little rascal, and then when I thought like he's a little Buddha, he's just like a little Buddha, and then it changes everything. Just my next show at the Schön Kunsthalle is called Captain Buddha, and you see like hundreds of Buddhist books, and
it's astonishing.
It's quite amazing, right? When you think, there we go, that's like a little Buddha.
There's something very special about this cat.
You know, I think only one special things in my life. Maybe that's the end of the interview.
Or the beginning.
Or the beginning. We could go on forever.
No, I've got lots of other questions. One of the other things I was curious about, we spoke about vitrines. Now, obviously vitrines appearing in the Zurich show, vitrines appear in the Vienna show. How did that idea of the vitrine enter the work? Was it?
I think it was through Boris. The first vitrine piece I ever did was in Los Angeles called "Do Not Doubt the Dangerous Thing" by Butterfly Song. I'm not sure if you know that piece itself.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, and it was in Los Angeles, and I'll show you. It's here you go. And I painted the whole space all white, and there's 3 vitrines in it, and each one has an iPod, and it's black, white, and silver, and each of the iPods I'm singing to like a different butterfly that's encased in each thing, and I've figured out that I can speak my own language for some reason, and it just comes out of. I'm not sure if you know this, but I don't really do it on the call, but like I can just come out, and what I was singing was. And some reason I can just speak, and I can continue the rest of the interview. If you ask me a question, I can and I'm not sure where it comes from, and I've discovered when I did this for the first time, and it's these 3 vitrines, and it's me singing to these dead butterflies with and then there's one painting, which is the first painting I ever did at the entrance, which is a purple painting.
But that leads us also to the question of performance, and I mean it's not the sound, but in many different ways. I mean, you did lots of performances also in LA. I mean, there's the famous performance with the 50 Boys, which you did. That was in the same gallery, I think.
The first performance of that,
Koh and 50 Most Beautiful Boys. And I mean, to some extent, I spoke to Matthew Barney a couple of years ago, and he said, he feels that there is a desire now, again, for unmediated experience. So that maybe, in the 90s there's been a lot of video, and there's been a lot of mediated experience in the art world, and now we have like a really strong desire for
performance. It's incredible, huh?
Yeah, we have a trialogue here. It's the 3 conversation.
There we go. It's like it's me, Hans, and Hans Meyer.
Yeah.
This is his name. And you know what? You know why I do performances? Because the first time I did performances with 50 and Most Beautiful Boys. Is it still going?
Yeah, I just had to make it.
The first time I did that performance, which I think, yeah, that was my first performance I did in the basement. And it's probably for Matthew as well, which you have a show right now at the Serpentine.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, you know what it is? I think it's like this ridiculous high of all these people focusing on you. And you get this like energy of like a whole group of people, whether it's like 5 people, whether it's 1 person.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite photos, if I can switch, is like it showed that Barbara Gladstone, this photographer, he took a black and white picture. Maybe it's Bruce, maybe it's B. He took this picture of a punk band and it was just like one performance, one woman singing on the stage and one guy. Bruce Conner.
I interviewed him. He's a hero.
Yeah, Bruce Conner. One of my favorite photographs when I saw the picture, and that's probably one of my favorite photographers. It's like this one girl performing on stage, and this one guy, and she could give a fucking fuck that she's like there's only one guy listening to her, and it's this high of one person giving you this energy. Yeah, maybe it's like being a rock star, and I think that's why rock stars are rock stars.
So for you, the performance has to do with that somehow. Is that energy? Or?
It is that energy, yeah.